Welcome to this edition of the Ultimate Combat Experience KO edition. And we talk about KOs, we're talking about knockouts, but we're going to add a little twist, so we're going to add some chokeouts as well, because sometimes these guys go to sleep. Tonight we got a couple guys that their appearance on the show started out on the internet. A guy named Love in a Can started talking a lot of smack, and then he had his brothers back it up in the cage. Well, didn't work out so well for some of them. And then we're going to look at Lee Doss doing his thing against Sam Smith. But your main event is going to be a kickboxing match. We've never had a main event in our KO edition kickboxing as yet, but Dave Foley and James Bird Dog Birdsley certainly fit that bill. We got a lot of stuff coming at you. The Ultimate Combat Experience KO edition coming right at you. Show open. A guy named Love in a Can got on our web forum and really started a ruckus on there. Got everybody mad at him. Then it turns out when he showed up to fight, it wasn't even him. His brothers had to step in and take his place. Dane Skinner sticking up for his brother against Nick Martinez. Check it out. Oh, Malibu Nick Martinez, he's got all that old California boy look, doesn't he? But now Dane Skinner calls himself H1N1.
He's coming in, man. He wants to be the pig flu, huh?
He's H1N1, Tony.
Either that or Heine.
You know what? Yeah, maybe that's what he's trying to be, Heine.
Yeah, look at his shorts. He's 5'11", 185 pounds.
Just because his Heine looks good in those shorts,
yeah,
look at that. Tony?
Yeah, look at that. Right. It's good.
All right, well, now Malibu Nick Martinez, he's shucking and jiving and shirking and jerking and moving all over the place.
Man,
here.
And he's 6'2", 185 pounds, and Oceanside, California, but now here in Utah.
Training down with the folks down there in Payson, Team Unbreakable. Those guys have been really pumping out the fighters of late. They put out some really good-looking kids, and Aaron Garcia sure does a good job with those guys down there.
I remember this Nick Martinez kid, man. He was a fireball when he first fought.
I'm not gonna lie, Tony. His Heine does look good in those shorts.
It's good.
I'm just gonna have to agree with you.
Yeah, punches are all over the place here. Yeah. This is what I like to see. Finally, a stand-up fight with a lot of punches thrown.
I'm distracted by the Heine. So was he apparently. My goodness. That's gonna do it right there. Well, Heine, Dane Skinner.
I gotta see this again.
Okay.
And we got Mr. Lefty right there. Dang. Oh my gosh, that was such a short little left. Bang.
Body shot there, and followed up with a big left hand. Dave Selly's doing a good job of getting in there, so no more.
Oh man, this is terrible for the Skinners.
He's like, what? What happened? What? I got the swine flu? What? What happened? All right, Malibu Nick. All right, big successful visit to the cage here tonight.
Well, he knocked out the swine flu.
Yeah, well, finally you knocked out the swine flu. One Skinner brother down. His brother Brad now going to step up against Casey Gordon. Now I got to tell you, this Casey Gordon guy is one of my really new time favorites here in the show. He's a hard-working guy, just a blue-collar fighter, and you know, Brad the Penetrator Skinner, he looks kind of be of the same ilk, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he is 5'10", 155 pounds, South Jordan, Utah. Again, from the Pancration Nation, and known as the Penetrator.
That's what I love, the Penetrator. And you mentioned, Tony, can he penetrate concrete? That's the big question that we're all going to be asking ourselves. Now, I always kind of tell ladies when I meet them that, man, I'm not all that great, but I can penetrate concrete.
That's good, 5'8", 180 pounds. From Highland, Utah, and man, he's sporting a nice do there.
Casey doesn't even want to look in his eyes, man. He's looking right past him.
Yeah,
looking right
ready to go.
Nice, very nice. Okay, good stuff here.
Well, this should be fun. I seen these guys backstage, and they both talk well, and I can't wait to see the
this was
flying,
a fight
man.
Since the weigh-ins. I mean, just last night, it just kind of seemed as though this is a fight I was excited to see.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
Nice
big knee right there.
Oh,
Casey Gordon caught
man.
Brad Skinner with a big knee.
Ooh.
And it buckled him. And right, well, you know, Skinner's still in the game. I got to tell you, Casey Gordon's got to get around, get his hooks in. Instead, he's just going to kind of try to cattle wrestle him over.
Let's bring him on top over
We
here.
got to get this Casey Gordon in the gym, man. This kid's a good-looking kid.
Yeah, has a lot of potential.
He just did all the wrong things right there. He could have ended this fight, I believe. Now he's lost the battle of the hips, and Brad Skinner comes around up on top, and it looks like he might still be just a little bit rattled from that knee.
Yeah, that was a big knee. You just see his face pop back, and man, that wasn't.
I'm not sure where the blood's coming from. It looks like Casey Gordon's got some blood on his forehead, and I'm not sure it's coming down from Brad or if he's cut. Well, maybe he's just red. He's a red skin. No, there's blood there. Now it looks like Casey Gordon's nose is bleeding pretty profusely.
Wow.
I didn't see the shot.
Me neither.
Apparently it was a good one.
All right, now.
Here's the old head squeeze we were talking about a minute ago. And again, I think this Casey Gordon kid gets into a gym and he could be dangerous. He's a super strong kid. He just got to learn some things, you know, and hanging on to a guy's head and squeezing it, it's not what you want to be doing in this position.
No, and just taking a little knee there from Brad.
Brad Skinner doing the right things. He's being very patient. He's pushing out with that left hand. He's winding up and throwing a knee every now and then. He's got an arm that he could go after right there, but I don't think he recognized that. But he's being very patient. He's still peppering this kid with shots, and he's staying busy and do a little ground and pound.
Oh, no.
Well, right there,
Whoa.
they both kind of popped up at the same time. And I think Dave is going to rule that Brad Skinner was still on his knees, therefore he can't be hit by Casey Gordon.
He's going to give him 5 minutes to recover if he can.
Yeah, well, he did kind of jump the gun there. And just for clarification, folks,
right there,
in Utah, these guys, unless they've had at least 10 fights, they cannot strike. A standing striker cannot strike a down opponent.
Oh, there's Loving the Can. He's saying there's no way that his brother can continue, so they're going to wave it off.
Stopping the fight, which makes it interesting. Okay, I think this makes this a no contest, is what that is. Okay, so the official ruling is this fight never happened, Tony.
I didn't see anything. Did you?
Well, the Skinner brothers didn't have a lot of fun here in the cage. They're going to go home and beat the crap out of their brother, I hope. When we come back, we're going to see some chokeouts. When I say chokeouts, they are completely out. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. As promised when we went to the break, we're going to see some chokeouts now, and these are chokeouts that really aren't just kind of chokeouts. These guys take a little nap. Harold Lucambio doing it on Danny Payne. Harold Lucambio finally has a reach advantage on somebody, Johnny.
Finally, Mike. We never thought that day would come, but the day is here, and Harold is happy to say he's going to test out those fists tonight.
I think his wife even has a little reach on him.
Without a doubt, Mike. She's a couple inches taller, I know that.
Well, he's lying. He's not 5'8". I think he's 5'3" at 170 pounds.
Mike.
All right, he's 5'6".
He's 7.5.
Well, Harold is a guy that is growing on this sport, and due to the fact that this guy is a little shorter than me, I definitely want to see where my hands will be. Eventually, one of us is going to take it to the ground, and the ground is actually my second home. I'm very comfortable in the ground, and I'm always looking for a good challenge. I heard that he's a good grappler, a good submission, and I'm always out for the test, and I'm actually going to give it to him, and he's going to give it to me. So I'm just excited to be here, and I'm thankful and thanks to all my fans and my friends for the last fight and support. I'm sorry I lost, but I'm just going to give it to that 30 pounds advantage that is so obvious. Well, Danny, you are going to go home packing a loss because I've been training really hard. It really comes down to who's better prepared. And I've been training for this really seriously, not only for you, but for anybody that steps in front of me. So good luck to you. I wish you the best, and let's go ahead and get it on.
Well, I guess I didn't take into account that little thing of hair in the front there. He might have a couple inches.
Mike, I tell you, besides the hair, Harold Lucambio is always ready to fight, Mike. Always ready to go.
Absolutely. Stand-up guy. I love the heck out of that kid. Danny Payne, though, man, I've enjoyed getting to talk to this guy a little bit. He's been calling us for quite some time. Finally, we've gotten up here from Texas.
Man, I've been in this game since '96. Boxed kickbox, jiu-jitsu, you name it. I mean, just like to fight. Been out of the game for a while, 4 years in the Army. I'm just here to fight, man. I love fighting, love the competition, love being around the atmosphere. I'm just here to swing punches and do my job and make Salt Lake City proud. Used to be a really ground guy back in the day. Had a big judo and jiu-jitsu background, but I can't tell you my secrets, man, because I'll have to kill you. It's classified, you know. So I'm just gonna come out and do my thing, you know. I'll do the quart of blood technique, you know, touching a quart of blood to come out or something. You know? I plan on winning. Train very hard, and I got a fighter spirit, heart of a samurai. And how I predict the winning is by jump spin, flying armbar. Yeah.
Fighter spirit, heart of a samurai, and a belly of a Buddha, Johnny.
Well, Mike, is that what's going to prevent him from doing the back spin, flying armbar?
I don't know, man. Maybe he just might bust that out on us.
Well, let's just see if these guys will stand up and bust each other up a little bit with their hands first before this thing gets to the mat, because we know that if Harold gets too uncomfortable, Mike, he'll take it to the mat where he 9 times out of 10 will submit a guy.
You see Danny Payne taking some pretty solid knees to the body right there. But he was the aggressor. He came out and initiated the tie-up there. But you see Harold systematically moving in, taking down, and pressing you against the cage.
Yeah, but and to do that against Danny Payne, that kid's a tank. But look how comfortable he looks, Mike. A lot of guys would be freaking out here, really scrambling and trying. But you see he's being patient and using that cage. Now gets over to his knees, but that might be a bad mistake
that
there.
That might spell doom for you right there, because there's nobody better at this than the constrictor. That's why they call him the constrictor. You give him a little bit of a space to do this, and he'll choke it out of you.
Well, yeah, Mike, and he's got a lot of time here to work and take his time in order to set up the choke or set up the submission, and that was a bad move on Danny Payne's part, Mike. Wow.
Yeah, when this happens so early in the round, boy, it can be pretty disheartening, because you really do have a lot of time, and I believe these are 5-minute rounds, aren't they, Johnny?
I think it's 5-minute rounds, Mike, but gosh, he's in trouble here, Mike.
Well,
he's fighting it off pretty well.
Job.
He is doing a pretty good job.
He's hand fighting very well.
He's got the one arm locked up. Harold looks like he's got like a cross wrist, or he had one, and now he's just working for that choke, Mike.
Well, if you have no neck, it's kind of hard to choke a guy, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, Danny Payne doesn't have a whole lot of a neck, but Harold's hitting him with shots here, Mike. He's just waiting to get that arm in the crook, and now he's in trouble.
Got that in deep. That's on, Johnny. He's not getting out of that. He's going to go sleep.
Not.
In fact, he's going to take a little
asleep.
natty-natty.
He's asleep, Mike.
He took a little nap right there. Well, those secret techniques he's got are going to remain secret, apparently. I guess they are really classified, because he wasn't showing them either.
No, Mike, he wasn't. He didn't. Well, you know what I like about him is he didn't tap. He just got choked out. He thought about tapping them for a second, and then
look at that. You can tell he was having kind of a wet dream there too. He was still happy at the end.
What? Anyway, Harold,
a good dream.
Well, Harold, the constrictor comedy does what he does
Harold
best.
didn't even mess up his hair tonight.
And that's choke someone out.
Now that's why we call him the constrictor. He put people out, and that's not the only time that ever happened with him. Now we're going to take a look at Talon Torres and Joseph Endemano. Well, as we mentioned, I can't say this enough, these guys are as evenly matched as they possibly could be.
Well, Mike, here we go. This is just a classic example of two solid athletes. These guys are spending a little bit of time in the gym, Mike. More than anything, they're just athletes. They're just tough kids.
They're tough kids, but I think where one is strong, the other is strong. It's not like we have a good wrestler versus a good stand-up fighter. These guys are very evenly matched. 6 foot tall, 184 pounds is Talon Torres.
Well, I like to stand up. I had a couple boxing matches, but I tend to go to the ground a lot because of my wrestling background. So heavy hands, hopefully ground pound. Train too hard not to win, and I want to be in the finals in a couple weeks, so I want to win it.
Well, he wants a shot at the big dance right here, but Joseph Endemano says, don't look past me, man. I'm going to give you all you can handle tonight.
All you can handle, Mike. Both these guys undefeated stepping inside the cage, so you know at least someone's walking out of this thing with a loss tonight, Mike. Unfortunately, that's just the case.
Endemano, 5'10", 180 pounds, train over at the Ultimate Combat Training Center.
Well, gonna mix it up. Just do whatever comes natural tonight. Hey, I worked hard, and I hope he worked as hard, but I think I can hit harder, throw harder, so I'm gonna win.
Oh, Joseph gets so nervous in front of that camera.
I love these young bucks, Mike. Both these guys just about 18, 19 years of age. Once again, just the future of the sport right here. My guys are getting in here for, well, not the first time. They've both been in here a couple times, but two like evenly matched, tough kids.
They're not getting in for the first time, but they're both very, very new to the sport. Both of them have been training for less than 6 months. And right here, Joseph Endemano is realizing that better not leave your head down there or you're going to get it pulled off.
Now you're going to get squirrels. The talent was doing a pretty good job of keeping him inside of his guard. He's trying to extend that back and really get this choke on, and he has it, Mike. This thing's on.
That thing is on, and he's on tight. If it arches back a little bit, this fight could be over.
He is squeezing for mercy, but he's got his feet locked up tight, and Joseph is throwing some little... Oh!
Wow.
Gets his head out of there. Wow.
Endemano toughs his way out of that, and you saw a big sigh of relief on his face there. He's like, ooh, that was close.
Now he's going to work on passing that guard, Mike. You see right there, stepping over, doing a pretty good job. Now he's in a nice... Wow.
Come out, baby. Wow, quickly things can turn, especially in these underage fights or these new guys. The tide can turn in a real big hurry. Now Joseph Endemano has the back of Talon Torres, and it looks like he just might be getting a little too high, Johnny.
Yeah, it was a little too high in talent. Once again, an outstanding high school wrestler. Using his hips, gets back over. Now he's inside the guard of Joseph, and let's see what he can do from here.
Fun fight so far. Both these guys, again, you see they're making kind of rookie mistakes, but then they're also showing a lot of heart and fixing those rookie mistakes. So right here you see, again, the tide has turned, and Joseph Endemano's locking up a potential triangle choke in the early stages of one, at least anyway.
Well, Mike, once again, these guys, not training a whole lot, Mike, but I tell you, one time in the cage is worth 6 months of training. You really know the mistakes you've made, and wow, Joseph is in a very dominant position here, Mike.
What better way to learn that you made a mistake than getting pounded on in your face right there? And Joseph Endemano happy to teach Talon Torres a lesson. Talon Torres, though, toughs his way out of it and finds himself back on top, but still in that triangle choke situation.
Once again, Mike, something that you just can't teach, and that's toughness, and I think both these guys have got that. Talon Torres, if you put him in a situation that really hurts and it's uncomfortable and painful and might choke you out, he's going to fight his hardest to get out of that so he can possibly get the win.
Fought himself into an even tighter triangle choke now than he had on himself a minute ago. It looks like Endemano had his foot down in the crook of his knee, and now he's just got to pull that arm across and tighten that thing up just a little bit, and we could see the end of this fight. Talon Torres doing the right thing, though, keeping his arm back.
Yeah, keeping his arm back, not letting him have that, Mike, and right there you see he's locking his arm underneath his back, and that's really the only real preventative way to stop this choke, because if he does get it across, it's lights out.
Absolutely.
Lights out.
And he's crowding Joseph into the cage a little bit, making things a little more difficult for him. But again, these guys, they're learning how to do this stuff, and they're doing some good things and some things that they probably need to work on next week.
Well, Mike, after watching this, they'll probably have a couple things that they need to write down in their notebook to take to the gym and work on. But
when all else fails, you revert back to what you know, and that's what Endemano is doing right now, and that's just punching him.
Punching him in the ribs, and then Talon's going to throw a couple knees right up the butt just to say, hey, buddy, I'm here too, man. I'm acknowledging what you're doing. And
what would you rather have, Johnny? A knee or an elbow a punch to the ribs, or a knee to the butt?
I would rather possibly have the knee to the butt than the punching. Well, maybe.
That's what I heard about you. Anyway, Joseph Endemano looking a little tired going back to his corner, but he did have a pretty successful first round there. I'm going to give him the nod in that first round, given the fact that he had a couple very near submissions. Didn't quite get him locked on, but Talon Torres can certainly turn the tide here.
Oh, he can, Mike, and that's one thing about these guys. You never know. They get in here and throw a big bomb, and the fight's over. At this level with these guys, Mike, you never know what to expect.
Boy, what about the crowd here at the Centro Civico Center, Johnny Ritchie?
Yeah, well, there you go, Mike. They're rowdy and crazy.
Well, this is a different venue for us. We came out here because the all ages kids can fight here, but not a lot of people want to come here. Let's be honest.
Well, let's be honest, Mike, but I tell you what, when they don't, they miss out on stuff like this. I'm telling you, the fights we've seen tonight, Mike, both of them, they've been impressive. These guys they're not bums. They're
guys that won't come to these shows because of the venue they're in, but boy, they do miss out on some of the best fights we've ever had, these underage cards. You always see some guy digging down deep and coming back, and you see the stuff that we're seeing right now. Very evenly matched guys, and a very good match between Joseph Endemano and Talon Torres right in the midst here of the second round.
Yeah, Mike, once again, just like the fight before this, those guys, they went into 3 rounds, and sometimes even in our in our pro cards, Johnny, you don't see that.
I think we've got an arm lock on here.
Well, Mike, this could be it. If he gets enough oomph and can really get this thing extended, this fight could very well be over, Mike, and he's got it.
Well,
he had it.
Every time you think he's got it, then you see that he doesn't quite have it. And again, if you just tighten things up just a little bit, but he did do a nice little transition here that he didn't do before. He had the arm lock, transition over into a triangle choke. This time he does have the arm across the body, and this might not be as tight as the first one was, but it looks like it's on.
Well, I see Talon's hand is flat, Mike, and that's just a sign of I think I might be tapping, but he's going to fight as long as he can to get out of this thing, Mike. He's not going to give it to him that easy. You're going to have to work if you want to be Talon Torres.
This is what Joseph Endamano likes to do, and that's punch you. And when he did that, he gave up that triangle choke and gave an opportunity for Talon Torres to get out and punch him back.
All right, now let's see what Talon does. Talon just giving this triangle choke up at will, Mike. I really don't know if he knows what one is. He's just letting him have it every chance he gets.
Well, maybe he's just trying to prove something to himself. I don't know.
That's it. He's out.
Well, he's taking
Talon's
a little nap.
out.
He's just taking a little nap.
We give him a blanket. And he's all right, folks. They're going to get his mouthpiece out, and boy, oh boy.
We mentioned this in the first round. If you get that put on correctly, that stops the blood flow to the brain, and you just take a little nap.
And there's Endamano's fans, his family, his sister and brother. They're all excited and jacked up that he gets himself another victory inside the cage.
Well, that was a very hard-fought victory against a very tough opponent. He's pretty happy about it, although he's a little too tired to celebrate.
All those triangle chokes, Mike, they'll take it out of you.
Sure will. Nobody saw that coming. Talon Torres was on a tear until he ran into Joseph Endamano. When we come back, we're going to see Lee Dawson, Sam Smith. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. Now, as promised, we're going to take a look at Lee Dawson. A lot of people thought he looked a little bit like the Predator. I always thought he looked like Whoopi Goldberg. Going up against Sam Smith. Check it out. Lee Dawson, a guy that's been the butt of many of my jokes, Johnny Ritchie, and he's taken it pretty much in stride. He's back in here each and every week, and I got to tell you, I'm not teasing the guy anymore.
Good, Mike. Well, you know what? I think he deservedly so. He doesn't need to be teased, Mike, because he has gotten a lot better. He has started to let his hands go, Mike, and he's impressed the hell out of me.
Well, he's certainly earned my respect. At 6'3", 185 pounds, goes by the nickname of the Cobra.
Oh, expect to see a rounded fighter. Ready to take the fight wherever it needs to go. Tonight, primarily, I'm standing, no doubt. Pretty much that's it. He seemed like a cool guy, I guess. I do what I do, man. I train twice a day, brutal, you know, nothing's compared to how I train in that cage, nothing. So, you know, I do what I do, and he seemed like a cool guy, so, you know, he'll just get a boxing lesson tonight.
Johnny, he do what he do.
Do what he do, man. He's going to give old Sam Smith a boxing lesson tonight. But Sam Smith, Mike, wow, he talked about being strong. This guy looks like he spent a few days in the gym, Mike.
Yeah, as you were mentioning a moment ago how Lee Dawson's getting strong. This guy looks like a tank at 5'10". He's 185 pounds of nut.
Well, I'm going to stand up. I know he's really tall, so we'll see how long that lasts. I might end up on the ground. I really don't know what's gonna happen yet. I think strength-wise, I'm gonna be able to. He's gonna have his hands full, and stand up. I mean, my stand-up's decent, and my ground is a little better. So, good luck, Lee.
He didn't really sound like he meant that.
No, well, I don't think he did, Mike. But right there, you see the height difference and the reach advantage that Lee Doss has over Sam Smith, Mike. And I wonder tonight if Lee Doss is going to use that advantage to his strength.
Well, this is where he really has to do that. He's going to have to use that reach advantage, which he's had in virtually every fight he's been in, but we just haven't seen him let it go.
Well, Mike, you know, talking to some of the guys that Lee Doss trains with, they say, man, if this guy fought the way he trained and the way he was in the gym, he'd be unstoppable, Mike. He's the best boxer in there, without a doubt. Him and DeMarcus just go toes.
Well, he just got taken down by Sam Smith, and Sam Smith's got half mount on him here as well, and he's going to press him up against the cage, Johnny. This Sam Smith kid, you can really see the power.
Oh, yeah, you can see that, Mike. I mean, his skill level, you know, he says, my ground game is pretty good. I've come from a solid wrestling background. My jiu-jitsu's okay. You know, I know how to stop and prevent armbar triangle. But as far as throwing one on, I'm not sure. Right here, it looks like he's just got an old classic wrestling head and arm.
He sure does there. He sat out there with it. But again, he's in a good position here. But Lee Doss, they say his jiu-jitsu's starting to become up to par with his stand-up. And you see right there, he's able to get out. Nice job.
Well, yeah, Mike, you saw that he was working his underhooks, Mike, and it only took him just one little mistake, and then he hops up and gets to his feet.
And you know, you mentioned a moment ago how the guys at Elite say that he just trains really hard. Elite's gym was shut down for a while. He's coming to my gym in the mornings, and this kid really does put his work in. There's no doubt about it. He'll be a success in this cage eventually.
Yeah, Mike, well, that's all he's working for. You talk about him fighting every single week, and that's the reason why he'll do that, Mike. But Sam Smith, Mike, is virtually a first-time fighter getting in here and not doing too bad against Lidas, Mike. I think he knows what Lidas's strengths are, and he's really trying to keep him close and crowd him and not let him get that distance that he needs to land those big strikes.
Well, that's a bit of a stalemate right here, and I think you attribute some of that to the fact that these guys have both earned a little respect from the other in the early goings of this round. Lidas certainly felt the strength of Sam Smith when he got taken down, and right there you see Sam Smith has felt the power that Lidas possesses in his punching.
Yeah, Mike, so he once again crowds him, pushes him against the cage. You hear Lidas's corner telling him to kind of reverse the position, get him against the cage, that way you can really tee off on him and he has nowhere to go. But it's easier said than done when you got old Sam Smith pushing you against that cage.
Well, he's just a strong kid. And again, I think Lidas is really feeling the strength from him. Whenever they're tied up like this, it looks like Lidas can't move.
Yeah, well, he's really putting the pressure on him. Mike, right there. Lee, as soon as Sam Smith drops his head, Lee throws that right knee, and he's landed it twice. And goes for a third time right there. Sam better rethink this position here.
Yeah,
either step back or really get the takedown.
Well, Lonnie Foster's going to rethink the position for them. He's going to get him restarted. He said, enough of that hugging. Let's get after it.
Oh, he's docking a point there, Mike. He was holding the cage.
Okay.
He was holding the fence.
Lonnie ain't going to put up with that crap.
No, that's the one thing Lonnie does not like at all, is if you use that cage for your advantage, he will not hesitate to dock you a point.
And we were talking about how strong Sam Smith is. It seemed like he was really keeping Lidas pinned up against the cage, and maybe that had something to do with it. I didn't even notice that his hand was over there clenched up on the cage.
That might not be it. Well, you know, maybe Sam Smith is realizing that if he didn't, something like that was going to happen.
Right. Oh, man, there you go. Lidas is punching, Johnny. Lidas is boxing.
There we go.
He's showing some fancy footwork and threw a big kick and everything.
He's letting it go, Mike. Let's see what he can do. Let's see what he does here. I've been excited to see this for a while, Mike.
Well, that's going to draw a conclusion to the first round, Johnny. That right there is what Lidas needed. He needed a little infusion of confidence. And, boy, did you see a difference in him, night and day difference, once he felt that.
It's crazy, Mike. It's crazy how that works. But once he kind of got in that motion, he started being more fluid. Wow, he just really lit him up through those nice punches and kicks.
Look at him strutting around the cage, Johnny. I think we just saw a rebirthing of Lidas. He's starting to feel like, you know, he's the fighter that he is.
Yeah. Well, let's see if Sam Smith can really get away from that, Mike. And once again, talked about taking Lidas down. Let's see if he can do that, Mike, because I think on the ground, Sam's strength did reign superior.
Johnny, even his defense, you see right here, Lidas has got footwork. He's doing a lot of the right things that just, I don't think we've seen it out of him before. I think we might have had a shot
to the groin there, Mike, on accident, and then
and another little shot for good measure to the face.
So let's see if he's okay. So Lonnie Foster's over there asking, does he need the time? He gets a 5-minute rest period here, Mike, if he needs it.
Well, he has up to 5 minutes to recuperate, and the reason for that is it's ruled an unintentional low blow. And, you know, we call it no holds barred, but yeah, kicking in the ding-ding is barred.
Yeah, you can't do it. Well, they're back at the action, Mike. Now let's see, Lee acknowledges that he made a mistake there and tapped the gloves of Sam Smith. Now let's get this thing underway.
Sam Smith moving a little slow. And you know, some guys, they don't want to take the full 5 minutes. And I got to tell you, the fans might be booing. The place might be getting rusty.
Oh!
If you need the time, take it right here. He is taking a beating, Johnny.
That's it, man. Fight is over. Wow. Lidas, man.
The new Lidas, Johnny. New and improved Lidas.
Oh, there you go.
What?
What? Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Oh, right there, man.
No, Johnny. What?
He's pumped up, man.
He should be, Johnny. He's come a long way, boy. Lidas came of his own, and what's that?
Who's your daddy?
That's a darn good question, Lee.
Lee gets the victory, looking good, Lee. Wow, I can't wait to see it come back. Sam, don't hang your head, brother. Come back and do this thing again.
What?
If nothing else, that Whoopi Goldberg can fight. Sam Smith found out. When we come back, it's going to be your main event, Dave Foley and the Bird Dog.